Let's talk about Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears because the Chicago Bears are in a great situation right now. They have everything that it takes to contend in this tough division, but can they realistically go out there and make the NFL playoffs? And I will say there's going to be a tough road for the Bears, but they have the pieces to do so. We all know that they selected Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. We have to give Ryan Poles a lot of credit here. Not only did he turn that first overall pick just a year ago into Caleb Williams, he turned that pick into getting DJ Moore, into also getting more draft capital as well. Ryan Poles has been hitting as of late with the Chicago Bears. And if Caleb Williams is a bust, that would be a huge black eye for Ryan Poles, but he should still keep his job. He has been a great aggressive general manager with the Chicago Bears, and he's been awesome in every situation by going out there and trading for Montez Sweat, who has been a key pass rusher. More on him when I talk about the defense in a couple of minutes, but give Ryan Poles a lot of credit. We have seen the Chicago Bears over the last couple of years. They've had a lot of good talent. They've had guys like Allen Robinson, who was a very good wide receiver in the past. They had Khalil Mack as well, and they made the NFL playoffs many years ago with Mitch Trubisky. And they were just a field goal away from possibly going out there and making an NFC championship appearance. But unfortunately, you had a terrible head coach in Matt Nagy, and Mitch Trubisky was a bust. You went out there, you selected Justin Fields in the first round a couple of years ago. Did not have the best weapons around that kid. And he was a dynamic runner of the football. He has some good moments here and there, but overall, he was not the true franchise quarterback that they were looking for. And the best wide receiving threat that he had a couple years ago was Darnell Mooney until this previous season when they went out there and they made the trade to go get DJ Moore. I look at Caleb Williams, and this kid's in a terrific situation. Not too many rookie quarterbacks go into a situation that this kid is headed into. You have wide receivers across the board, and Keenan Allen, who's a very good veteran wide receiver. He can steal ball. He's one of the best route running wide receivers in the NFL. I love his game. Don't get it twisted. Just because the Los Angeles Chargers decide to trade him does not mean that he's a washed up wide receiver and that he's just completely in the back end of his career. He's coming off one of the best seasons of his career with Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. He can go out there, he can kill you in the immediate routes. He's going to also take some pressure off of DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. Keenan Allen had 108 catches on the season, 1,243 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, and he averaged 11 yards a catch. He's going to be the number 2 wide receiver because DJ Moore is still going to be the number 1. DJ Moore has been terrific since he stepped foot in the NFL. He's played with quarterbacks like Cam Newton, who was on the back end of his career. He's played with guys like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, not the best options to have at the time with the Carolina Panthers. And he also caught some footballs from Teddy Bridgewater as well. When I look at DJ Moore, he's a definition of a true number 1 wide receiver. He reminds me a lot of DeAndre Hopkins. If we go back many years ago, DeAndre Hopkins always put up crazy numbers with lackluster quarterback play. That's what DJ Moore has done. And DJ Moore is one of the most explosive wide receivers in the NFL. He could take the top off the defense. He's a complete wide receiver. On this season, he had 96 catches for 1,364 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. He also averaged 14 yards a catch. That's a great number 1 wide receiver to have for Caleb Williams and just for any rookie in the NFL. And he's one of the best wide receivers. And you also have Rome Odunze as well. So when Keenan Allen does decide to hang him up or he decides to lead the Chicago Bears, you have Rome Odunze who can come in and he can immediately be the number 2 wide receiver. You can make the argument right now that Rome Odunze could be the number 1 with how talented he is as a rookie. You're going to give this kid time to develop. And I don't expect for him to go out there and have over 800 yards receiving in the season because the other wide receivers around him. But you let him sit back there and develop. He's going to be your number 3 wide receiver. This is an explosive offense on paper. And you have a brand new offensive coordinator as well. And Shane Waldron. You had Luke Getsy last season. The thing is with Luke Getsy, he wasn't the best offensive play caller for Justin Fields or for DJ Moore. Because we have to remember this as well. For the first 4 weeks of the season, they had a tough time giving DJ Moore the football. They'll just throw him a couple of screens here and there. It wasn't until they went against the Washington Commanders that DJ Moore went out there and he had a crazy game on the Thursday night football game against the Commanders. DJ Moore has that ability to go out there and take over a game. And you're adding in Rome Odunze, who has a similar skill set. That's going to work out with the Chicago Bears long term for sure. It just comes down to Caleb Williams. Can he go out there? Can he manipulate the pocket and can he do the same things that he did in college? And can it translate over to the NFL? He doesn't have to come out and be Superman immediately. He did that with USC. But you have great talent with the Bears now in the wide receiving room. And the offensive line is strong as well. Yes, Justin Fields got beat up a lot, but Justin Fields held onto the football for too long and he would rush himself into sacks. And that's my worry with Caleb Williams. He's held onto the football for a long time in college, and he will also go out there and he will get himself into trouble as well. But that's where the run game comes into things. You don't have to have Caleb Williams go out there and throw the football over 30 times every single game because your running backs are good as well. DeAndre Swift is a very good running back. The first couple of years with the Detroit Lions, he struggled to stay on the field. He struggled with his health. But when he's been healthy, he's a very good running back. Granted, he played behind two awesome offensive lines with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. But when I look at DeAndre Swift, he can play every single down for you, and he can catch the football at the backfield. You also have Khalil Herbert, who's a very good running back as well. He missed time this season with a freak injury. Justin Fields threw the football behind him. He tried to catch the football and he hurt his leg, but he is a very good and explosive running back that can catch the football at the backfield as well. And you also have Roshan Johnson. So you have three very good running backs. And you can work off of play action with Caleb Williams. And he was one of the best quarterbacks coming out of college working off of play action as well. Just ease him into the NFL, run the football, work off of play action. And this offensive line, like I mentioned before, Tevin Jenkins, I like him at the guard position. Darnell Wright had a very good rookie season. He was a first-round pick in last year's draft class at the right tackle position. You also have Braxton Jones at the left tackle position as well. I like the pieces that they have. They also got Nate Davis in last year's free agency period. Struggled to stay healthy on the field, but he's a very good running guard to have at the right guard position, especially when to run the football behind him. I like the offensive line a lot. It may take them a couple of games to get together and to be consistent, but you can run a lot of quick game. And Shane Waldron may do that. He did that with Geno Smith with the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith had some of his best years in the NFL with Shane Waldron. He can do the same thing with Caleb Williams as well. And Caleb Williams is a better talent than Geno Smith is coming out of college. So we'll see if it can work out. Their offense, they have some question marks on the offensive line. And can Caleb Williams work out? This is where it really comes down to. If Caleb Williams can be a star with these offensive pieces, this is going to be one of the best offenses in the NFL. And we all know that they can run the football with and without Justin Fields. They've had a top rushing attack, yes, because of Justin Fields, but they have very good running backs, and the offensive line is a very good run blocking offensive line as well. When I look at this defense, this is when I want to talk about Matt Eberflus. I'm not sold on Matt Eberflus being a true NFL head coach just yet, but he's done some good things. I want to go back to the middle portion of the season that we just moved off of. They were in the contention to make the NFL playoffs. They blew some leads in the halfway point in the season. Then Justin Fields got injured with that thumb injury. But if Justin Fields doesn't get injured, maybe they make the NFL playoffs. It was going to be tough for them to make it because of the division that they're in. But at the same time, their defense was very good, especially when they made the trade to go get Montez Sweat. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, Ryan Poles has been hitting. Yes, he missed on Chase Claypool, but he went out there and he made a trade to go get Montez Sweat. He's the first player in NFL history to not only lead just the Washington Commanders in sacks, but to also lead the Chicago Bears in sacks as well. 12.5 sacks on the season. They have been missing a star pass rusher since they traded Khalil Mack away to the Las Vegas Raiders. When I look at what this kid has been able to do in a short time with the Chicago Bears, you give him a full offseason underneath this system with Matt Eberflus, he should flourish. He's going to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFC. This kid is special. And you only got him for a second-round pick. That's a steal. Having him on this defensive line took this defense to the next level because they had a top rushing defense this season and last season as well. It's hard to run the football on the Chicago Bears because Matt Eberflus is a former linebackers coach. So he knows how to go out there and control the front seven and how to manipulate the front seven. And he was doing the best that he could to try to go out there and generate pressure. He'll blitz linebackers up the middle. He'll blitz them off the side. Now you have Montez Sweat that can go back there and he can just rush the pass and put his hand in the dirt. It makes life easier for Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards, who are two very good linebackers, by the way. TJ Edwards had 3 interceptions on the season and 91 solo tackles, while Tremaine Edmonds went out there and he had 4 interceptions on the season and 69 solo tackles. That is crazy good production and coverage for linebackers, especially in the interior. I like the pieces, and it's more so than just their front 7. Their back end is good as well. Their back end is strong. When I look at Tyreek Stevenson, he looked like a #1 corner this season. 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions on the season, 16 pass deflections, and 65 solo tackles. And you have Jalen Johnson, who was one of the best corners in the NFL. 4 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, 31 solo tackles. And you have Jaquan Brisker as well at the strong safety position. You have guys in the secondary that can cover across the field, and they're interchangeable. They were running a lot of press man coverage, and it worked. It just came down to turnovers from their offense and Justin Fields just not being able to go out there and completely read the defense to the next level and not having as many weapons as you would like for him to have. But their secondary is very good. And I do think that going forward, the Chicago Bears are going to be a tough team to beat in this division. Yes, you have the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, and put respect on their names. But if Caleb Williams can pan out on day 1, that's a scary thought for every other team in this division. And the same with the Minnesota Vikings as well. And you also have Cole Kmet, who's a very good tight end. He's a star tight end in terms of receiving yards. He had over 700 receiving yards this season. So you have weapons across the field. They can cover every blade of grass. I know a lot of people say that Caleb Williams, he paints his fingernails, he's soft, he's this, he's that. You can't argue with production. Yes, he may be a little bit weird, but if he can go out there and he can compete, you don't care about any of that. I don't care if he paints his toenails. If he can go out there and he can get you good production and he can get this team to the playoffs, that's all you care about. But it's going to be hard to do that. I could easily see the Chicago Bears winning 8 to 9 games for this upcoming season. It may be a bit of a learning curve for Caleb Williams because he is a rookie, but Matt Eberflus is not a rookie head coach. If they don't win over 5 to 6 games this season, he may be fired. And Matt Eberflus has been put into a bit of a weird situation because he's not a terrible head coach and he's not one of the best head coaches either. But that offense has been in a terrible situation, even dating back to when they had Matt Nagy as the head coach because of the quarterback play. Hopefully they have finally got it right. I know that a lot of people like to come on here and they'll say USC quarterbacks rarely pan out. I will say this: judge the player, don't judge the jersey. Don't judge the organization, judge the player. This is a different Chicago Bears organization. They're moving into the right direction. They have not had this much talent in quite some time. It may come down to injuries as well, but this is going to be one of the most dangerous young teams in the NFL. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about Caleb Williams, and can they make the NFL playoffs in year 1 with him? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.